Grace and peace. I'm gonna tell me if y'all hear me. Type one. Do me a favor. Tell me if y'all hear me and my background is not too loud. I'm trying to see myself on this thing right here. All right, I gotta turn the volume down. It's early and I'm gonna try to record this way. Hopefully hopefully everything is do me a favor, type one down in there. I see a couple of y'all coming in here. Type one down here. I wanna I wanna talk a little bit. Grace and peace, Lady B. I want to talk a little bit about this conspiracy tally. I want to talk about this conspiracy. Shalom. Listen, it's a lot going on out here, and I see why my man and I see why a lot of people, a lot of ministers and stuff say the internet is a waste of time. I understand why they're saying that because a whole bunch of stuff is everybody's that's been coming in. I said I was going to try to answer it and I was going to try to do everything at Am I skipping? I'm gonna try to do everything at one time. Give me a favor. Give me a thumbs up. Share the video. They tell me how often I don't do this, but this conspiracy thing is bothering me. I just normally jump into the videos and stuff like that. Tomorrow we're gonna talk about. I'm gonna have a special guest on. We're gonna talk about dreams and visions in this last days. In these last days, it's God speaking to us according to Acts the second chapter when Peter started speaking, saying in the last days that God promises to pour out his spirit upon all flesh. Your sons and daughters shall prophesy. It's God speaking to us mystically, or has he spoken through his word by his son in these last days? Because a lot of the confusion comes in because plenty people don't know the voice of God. They can't hear God for themselves, and they're running around following the church, following religion. Not saying nothing is wrong with the church and following this great prophet and that great prophet, and that's how so many people are being deceived. We have more cults in this country and abroad than we have ever had. Shalom, Hotep, Rob Moses, that we have ever had in the history of the world. We have more people than we have on the planet than we've ever had in the history of the world. But at the same time, it's madness. So tomorrow we're going to talk about dreams and we're going to talk about visions. We're going to get into some of that stuff. And is God speaking? How he's speaking? Now y'all know y'all might hear things from me and my guest that's a little different. I am of the Pentecostal charismatic persuasion. I believe that God is speaking and he's to a people right now. Yes, even outside of the Bible. It's going to confirm the Bible. But if I didn't have a Bible, if they destroyed all the Bibles right now, God is speaking and dealing with his people. Period. And that's going to let them thumpers go run and tell that right there. But I want to talk about some of these conspiracies and how I'm not the sharpest knife in the drawer, but I look at timelines. I look at different things. One of those conspiracies is white people, and I'm sorry that I have to talk about white people, but when you're involved in urban apologetics, get a white man back his Bible. These are statements that I often hear. The white man gave us the Bible to control us, and that's all that I do is urban apologetics. When you're involved in urban apologetics, I tell people don't throw away. I have people that came through Sunday seminary, and shout out to them, that have degrees in apologetics that went away to mainline Bible school, and they know they know regular apologetics. But inside of the of the um of the excuse me, inside of the regular seminaries, they're not teaching urban apologetics. They're not dealing with the questions and the answers and the things that we've been discussing for years and years and years in the barbershop. They're not doing it. Grace and Peace Richardson, they're not doing it. So we have to do that. So urban apologetics is just part of apologetics. And I tell people don't throw it away because you need general apologetics. We're going to talk about some other stuff. Tactics is a good, and how people I'm dealing with. And somewhere saying that you got to know the crowd you're dealing with. If I'm dealing with, if I walk in a room or some people come and cook out and they be like, yeah, that dude a Christian over there, and I know it's Muslims, I got to know who the ops are. I got to know how they coming to me. If they're Muslims and they want to talk to me, they're going to start questioning me, and any direction they go, they're going to take me to that Trinity. They're going to take me to the Bible tampered with in the Quran, and Prophet Muhammad Ibn Abdullah is the true last prophet of. You got to know the people you're around. And we're going to talk about that and questioning and everything. But back to the conspiracy stuff. When we start dealing with this conspiracy stuff, they say that white people gave us the Bible to control us. Now, I told y'all I'm not the sharpest knife in the drawer, but there's certain things I'm going to look at. Did white people give us religion, first of all? Those are things you got to look at, timelines right there. Before American slavery, before all of this stuff, the Bible already existed among a people called Israel. And if you want to go a little further, you got to understand religion existed among the Indians. Before contact with the Europeans, religion already existed. This is how this stuff don't make no sense what they're saying, but you could say anything on the internet. You can say anything, and there's an audience on the internet because largely, like I say, not regulated. People, you'll find people are running they're not researching, they're just looking for stuff to tickle their ears, to make them feel good, and they start believing everything. And one of the problems is we got so-called truthers or Bible believers that's stumping out the book too much, and they're out here. Now, the conspiracy I believe in, that is as a scientist in the eyes of everybody else, because we ignorant with it. And we can mean good in our heart, and you can mean good and still be off. You can mean good and still basically and be talking madness. Using the book to talk madness, you could be doing that. Now, what people dealing with spirituality. And this is one of the reasons that the camps be doing their numbers. I would never stop and dialogue or just try to turn you out. Even when you go to church, you'll get turned out emotionally. The singing, the clapping, and the crying, and you broke up with your baby daddy. You broke up, you done got divorced, you out of a job, and you up there crying, you're sick, and then you just run to the altar and quote unquote get saved. Because emotionally they're turning you out. Spirituality is a deeper thing. That's how come I believe we're moving from a day of judgment is gone. But we got a dialogue with people. Nicodemus came to Jesus by night, and he was dialoguing with him. They were already talking. He went to seminary. They were already talking. He said, we know that thou art a teacher that comes from God, for no man can do these miracles except God be with him. So they were already talking about Christ, but he needed deeper dialogue to get understanding. We moving in a time where we got to get a deeper understanding of what the Most High is saying, not just moving off of emotionalism. That's how come a lot of people that get quote unquote saved in church end up backsliding, or whatever the word is y'all want to call it, and say they were never saved in the beginning because they were emotionally stirred at that time and just ran up there and prayed. When you get out here on the block, the first thing that's going to touch these guys, if I get on the corner and I say the white man is the devil and we the people of the book, that's going to make contact with brothers quicker than true spirituality. True spirituality ain't nothing about no skin color. But that's going to make contact what they preaching on the corner. Listen, when it comes down to it, the white man is the devil. Let the Bible speak of it. We the chosen people. Listen, if I got multiple felonies and I got beef, and the only white folk I ran into was the DA, police officers, and correction officers, and them captains and depths and all them on Rikers Island. What y'all think I'm going to feel about? Automatically, that's going to catch me and turn me out emotionally. So now I'm locked into the book emotionally, and I'm looking at everything in the book, everything black, white, the white man, the devil, black man, I'm chosen, and I'm taking scriptures and I'm doing too much. Oh, shalom, Brother Perry, and I'm doing too much. And it's a lot of people doing way too much with the book, and they don't even understand why they doing it. White man gave us the Bible to control us. Who is the Bible controlling in the hood? And we running around here. We running around. Our girls are out of control. White people have been getting Botox. Yes, they have. You black people. I'm sorry, I'm making everything black and white. A lot of you black folk with these butt shots, y'all girls is out of this. Listen, this stripper culture is our culture. This thing has so become part of us that we got our young girls with yoga pants on. We got pictures all online with babies twerking, and we loving that. And we loving that we're out of control and it's all flesh. That's another thing. I want to talk about these conspiracies and all of this madness dealing with this book. We doing too much with the book, and I could understand why people that's not really involved in Christianity can look and be like, yo, y'all running around here, this earth is flat, and I'm looking up and I see the sun from everywhere on the planet. The sun look round. From everywhere on the planet, the moon look round. But y'all thumping me out with there's a message from God that the earth is flat. No, man, I'm good right now. I'm good. And that don't have nothing to do with salvation. But if that's going against all established science, it's what they're saying. The Bible is a book for the retarded people. The Bible is a book for intellectual people. And some of us are doing this. And we think we're doing God's will. God don't want us down here looking retarded. I don't think, excuse my language as I'm speaking too, I don't think Adam and Eve, the original man, was retarded. I'm going to try to use some different words. I don't think that they were mentally challenged people. I believe they were intellectual, and I believe that we should be able to reason and explain to people why we believe, even with the supernatural worldview. In light of scientists that don't believe in the supernatural, we should still be able to articulate what we believe like we got some sense. Oh, man, hold on. Did I hit you yesterday? Grace and peace, man. So these are some other things. Another thing, another conspiracy that's all over the internet. And like I said, I'm not the sharpest knife in the drawer. I know some dudes are scholars. Is this Bible code? 47 Psalm is Shakespeare. 46 Psalm, I can't even remember which one it is right now. 46 Psalm is Shakespeare on his 46th birthday. If you look at the 46 Psalms and you count the word forward, it's going to say shake, and you count the words backward, it's going to say spear. He's the shaker of the spear. Shakespeare wrote the Bible. I'm going to ask myself, even as somebody that ain't got a degree in seminary, what year did they put Bible verses and chapters in the Bible? What year was Shakespeare's birthday? Did this come out? I'm going to try to look for a connection before I jump and start believing this nonsense on YouTube. This is just madness that's out here. We're gonna talk about some other stuff, but these are things that we got to look at. These are things that we got to look at. There's another conspiracy I'm saving for my man, because remember, a lot of these conspiracies are based in half truths. Some half truths, and this is where we'll start looking at things and not getting a clear understanding. A conspiracy is when a bunch of people get together for an unlawful or wicked purpose. What purpose? We got to ask ourselves some of the stuff that we're promoting in the name of the Bible, in the name of God. For what reason? What money? What are these people getting out of it? We follow things and we don't ask specific questions. I told y'all Coco got it. I think he's the author, if I can remember properly. That book Tactics, he got some good things in it. He said ask questions. I've been telling y'all the detectives, police officers and wives and baby mamas in them, they know how to move. They know how to ask questions to get to what they want. They're asking questions. And if you keep asking questions and you keep letting people talk, that's one thing the police love. You got something called Miranda. You know, they read you your rights, Miranda versus the state of Arizona, 1966. You got the right to remain silent. The police love when they got you hemmed up in the precinct and you running your mouth. Let them keep talking. Your baby mama, your wife going to keep questioning you. She want to know something. She going to keep questioning you and coming from different angles. We got to ask questions to get down to what are these what is this madness about? There's too much madness out here that these people are talking about, and it's not lining up with science. We think it's lining up with the book. We got to understand certain things when it comes to the book, especially when we start saying the black woman is God. Oh, that's a whole nother thing right there. Especially when it comes down to the Bible, we're doing God an injustice. We're getting out here and we say we're preaching and teaching. Grace and peace, Yolanda. We say we're preaching and teaching, and we just wild with it. I said I was going to wait till lunchtime, but I'm going to go into some more stuff. I'm going to try to get my man on. I think we're going to do that on Facebook. We're going to talk about conspiracy. We're the people of the book. Black people are the people of the book. White folks stole our identity. Now that one, I'm just not going to talk for two, three minutes on that. We're going to get deep into that because this has to do with this Israelite movement, this awakening, this conspiracy. So many people think it's so many different things. I'm going to have to do a whole video. I'm going to have to do a whole video right there by itself. But it's too much stuff. We got to make sure we're dealing with what's revealed science. Revealed science, what we can observe, the heavens declare the glory of God. What can we see with our eyes? Don't see one thing with our eyes and in the book saying something else that was written 3,000 years ago on another side of the planet and think it means this and it doesn't mean that. And y'all are pushing something looking crazy. Like I said, I can see why people want to walk away from fiction. What could be wrong with this thing? And this is supposed to be the... All right, do me a favor, just type one. Last thing I see is from Yolanda. Grace and peace, knee deep. Let me see who else. I'm trying to read some of these comments whilst Humble Prince, Grace and peace Jones. It's not about black, white. That's how many Western biology deals with nature. Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's definitely not about black, white. It's definitely not about black, white. But a lot of times we get people and we'll catch them. I'm gonna tell y'all that's part of the game. And the disciples didn't do this. The part of the game is get people caught up in their emotional state. black, white folk done disrespect me, black cops and the cops done pulled me over, and da 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 da, and all of this other stuff. And it's about catching people in their emotional state. That's why I said, like, I wouldn't even be on the corner beefing with no Israelite camps, especially when it comes to color and race. Any pastor want to get out here on the corner talking about it's about true spirituality. The average person in the beginning just deals with what they see and what they think, and that's the soulish realm. That's the emotional realm. It's going to, oh, and it's a good ship is named Jesus, and these white folk and the white Jesus. Of course, that's going to catch everybody first. The spirituality is the deepest level of a human soul. You automatically first, I see you physically, Yolanda, Lady B, I see you physically first. Then I try to get to know somebody mentally. Then you get to know the spirit. It's levels to this thing. It's the outside of the egg. And before you can get to the yolk, there's stages in this thing. And anybody that's dealing with religion, that's how come the prosperity in the book. Oh, black people, and we chosen, and this and that. Oh, money, God will bless your money in your pocketbook right now. That's outside. Listen, I need food in the refrigerator. I need a new car. I see my neighbors and them got a new car. I'm running around here in this hoopty, got to get an alternator and all of this stuff. That's going to catch me quicker than the real gospel. That's how come the prosperity churches was jumping. That's how come they was getting all this money. I don't care what them dudes say right now. Oh, the prosperity message is wrong. Give back all the money then. Start right there. Give back all the money then. They're not going to do that. They're not going to do that. I mean, they know the game, and they know people are first going what they emotionally feel. And there's a lot of pastors, there's a lot of so-called preachers and prophets, and they get you. Guy hitting me from Africa, and they get money in Africa. They get their money up. These false prophets. That's how come I said we're going to deal with these signs and these wonders. We're going to deal with dreams and visions. How do God speak to you? Part of the beef is, have you broken up with your ex? Man, you know how many women I'm gonna get? I got to get your ex back blessing if y'all come to me right now. Y'all see, I'll hit y'all in PayPal. It's Berean. This is the situation right now. It's rough. Let the Lord, please let the Lord, you bless us. You have not, of course, you ask not. That's just what I'm gonna say. But these folks, can you imagine? Listen, I would be in that new thing. I would be on another level if the amount of women that's been through heartbreak with their baby daddy, with their husband and divorce. You know, if I say get your ex back potion, I got to get your ex back special prayer potion, special oil to anoint yourself. And trust me, I'll be at 6 figures tomorrow. My PayPal will be jumping because that's what people are going through hurts. And if I can catch y'all out there emotionally, that's how I say, don't let the church turn you out. And I'm not talking about true Israel. I'm talking about these folk that are shopping something to catch you emotionally. That's the thing that they do. I don't know if this thing is acting up. Let me read some of this because I'm jumping on with my man at 12 o'clock. And tomorrow we talk about dreams and visions. I know it's going to turn into a series because we got to deal with that. There's a mystical side. And a lot of us are chasing the preacher, chasing them folk on TBN, chasing a conference, chasing a camp leader, chasing a captain, chasing all these folk that we think are great, and greatness is inside of us. The king is inside of us. 1 John 4:4. I'm in the book right now. But y'all don't like them scriptures. Y'all like them other scriptures. Read. And his head and his hair was read. Shut up. Shut up. That's not even what that means. Come on, you run into the most symbolic book trying to get skin color out of that. Come on, man, you and your flesh. And trust me, and I feel a certain way. I understand history. I feel a certain way about Europeans that have died and gone. But at the same time, I'm not going to sit here and fool myself like all white people got to get classified like this and all black people got to get classified like that. That's all the flesh. That's all confusion. If we can just get past that right there, we'll be on a different level. Let me try to read some of this. The madness, she said. Oh, grace and peace, leader for Christ. I appreciate your response. Hit me back yesterday. Harv said people need the power of God. They need to see the move of God in everywhere. I agree with that. People need to really see the real power of God and understand the power of God. Because a lot of us, we might say we're not like our parents, but a lot of us, we're just following religion. We're just following emotionalism, and we need to get connected with the living God, our individual selves. We need to get connected with the living God individually. But like I said, being that America have not answered for some of her sins, let's put it that way, things are constantly going to come up. What was that? The university, they had some people in the bookstore. Missouri, one of the universities, I had it on the phone. Somebody sent me the link, and they had some of our black leaders hanging, looked like they were hanging on nooses on the tree. These folk, and then they, once again, they apologize. These folk gonna keep doing what they doing. So of course, brothers gonna see that and get out here and preach a black white thing, and they're going to get more views. Videos that's dealing with race that got a large number of black folk out here calling these white folk devils. These white folk wicked. I'm going to tell y'all the truth about the devil. I tell you, I start saying some of this right here. Listen, Rose, I start saying some of this right here. I'm going to have 500 people on the live in 2 hours. Because I'm saying these white folk devils, you can't trust the blue-eyed and this and that and all of this other nonsense. But people are running to that. People are running to a lot of that nonsense. Matter of fact, I often get some I'm gonna get some of them on there. I often get some people like I know because I know a lot of people. I often get some like the other guy said, well, my dad is black, but my mom is white. You know, they have different questions. They have a whole. It seems like they have a whole different a struggle that they're dealing with. I guess they don't really fit in too much with us, and they don't really fit in too much with them. They got a whole bunch of stuff going on. Let me read some of these before I get up out of here. Grace of peace, Pastor. I came in the house. I don't know what happened last night. I know you were busy working. We're gonna get on. Yeah, I see him. All right, I'm not came on the terrace. I don't think that would make a difference. I'm just trying. They're really saying it's deeper than skin color. I don't know. I've been on for 20 something minutes. I don't know. This thing look like this thing looks here. Y'all pray for me. Y'all know what it is. Y'all want to support. Thank shit. Everybody in the Patreon is come on there. We're gonna talk about some other stuff. I'm gonna get my man. I don't know if he can do it lunchtime. I think the other pastor might be at work. We're gonna talk about that. We got that's beside out. Knee deep said Berean. No need to rant on Black Hebrew Israelite. They are controlled by the Ashkenazi. But then on the other hand, some things have been put against certain people involved in urban apologetics. And that's a whole nother thing. We gonna get that in another video. I hope I'm not cutting out too much. All right, y'all. I know it's the middle of the day, the middle of the morning, but we're gonna I'll be back on in a couple of hours and we can discuss some more of this stuff. But we're talking about Bible conspiracies, straight Bible conspiracies, the nonsense versus the truth of what the book is saying. Stop doing so much with that book. All right, I'm gonna try to feel.